could just turn off the Spotify. Okay, good. So let's see.
Andy, you seem like you're in Guatemala. You look more in Guatemala than most of us except Anna.
You know, it's behind me there.
Yeah.
And see if I can do that. Oop. Let's see.
Where's Mashimon?
Oh, Mashimon.
Hey, look, he's got his yes and button on.
Yes, Andy's not in Guatemala, but it feels he has a Guatemalan spirit there, right?
Mentally in Guatemala, right? This is a little piece of Guatemala.
Okay, so let's start. Gladys, if you could rename yourself, and you know where your thumbnail is. You have 3 dots, and there you just click, and then you have the option to rename yourself. If you could share with us your name, well, you know your name, but next to your name, how you feel today at this moment,
Second,
and Fernando too.
Okay, I have 3 dots.
Fernando feels Franco.
Your cell phone. Ah, that's first one.
Rename.
So sorry, I'm in a goofy mood.
Ay, Dios.
I want some of the coffee you drank, please.
Okay, is that all right?
Yes, if you could add now next to do it again and just add next to your name how you feel at this moment. And in the meantime, thanks for presenting you in the chat. If you have not done so, please go ahead. So who's in the room? We have a nice mix of participants from the training facilitating co-creation. Andy is one of those. We've had some international participants, so we're really glad he's joining us. And thanks to everybody here in Guatemala for doing this in English. We appreciate that. We have a humble professor who has not yet arrived. Will, he stated himself as a humble professor in the forum. We have assistant professors, we have a high school students, and so just a great mix. And why the gym? Well, the only way to get better, as we all know, for our students is to practice and to reflect, and that's true for ourselves as teachers as well. And so this is what we're going to do today. So this is the pool. I like to use this metaphor, jumping into the pool, dive in and start practicing. We have 3 brave facilitators who decided to jump in the pool today. It's lukewarm, so don't worry too much. So please, can you raise your hand? Lieselot, Fernando.
Hi.
And Olga. Thank you so much. A word of courage for you. This is a dress rehearsal. It's a safe place. So please feel at ease. And for all, let's create a friendly learning environment and be constructive also with our feedback. We're not here to judge. We're here to enjoy, to learn, and to be inspired. And the dynamics will work as follows. So we will have an icebreaker. They will have 10 minutes for that. And then afterwards, I will ask you how you feel, how did it make you feel, what went well, and even better if. We're going to go into breakout rooms for that. I will explain later how it will work exactly. And so we will have 3 icebreakers. And I would like to propose to eliminate the word but out of our vocabulary today. So I'm sure things will go well, but if not, remember that mistakes are gifts. And so there will be big learning opportunities for us all. And with that, I want to throw a poll, and I've never done this in Zoom, so here it goes. This is the poll.
I want to change my answer, but I've already submitted it.
Mm,
Okay, we have 7 people who filled it out. 2 more to go. Yeah, did everybody got the chance?
yes, I did.
Yes.
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 I have
Yes.
I have 8 people. Somebody still needs some time? Okay, so, and the poll, we will have a look at it later. Okay, there we go. Close the poll. So we'll get the chance today to experience different perspectives. For teachers, we normally facilitate, and now we have the chance to participate and take the place of our students. So this is an invitation to be metacognitive. You will live the experience and then think about the process of the design and the facilitation. And you'll ask yourself, how does this exercise make me feel? What I said before. So why does it make me feel that way? What worked well? How would I facilitate this? Oh, how do I normally do this? What's different? So this is an invitation to switch between participant and facilitator, and also between living the experience and reflecting on the experience. And on another note, for the cooks among us, this will sound familiar. So you have a recipe, let's say for deviled eggs, and you have here all the information needed, the prep time, cook time, you'll even have skill level, prices. Then we have all the ingredients and the instructions. So we start enthusiastically cooking, and what happens? All of a sudden, it's not what we had expected. So I came up with the idea of this workshop because in an empathy interview with a student, she mentioned the icebreakers, and that sometimes it was really helpful, and at other times it was not only not helpful, but it even was counterproductive to what the teacher wanted to achieve. So the ingredients are important, instructions are important, but apparently there is more. So what makes the difference? What factors are key in determining if the icebreaker will be success or a flop, or maybe some unremarkable event? And this is what we're going to look for today for these ingredients. So what elements play a role in the success or failure? What forces are at work, apart from just the instructions and maybe some facilitator tips? So are you ready to go on this trip, on this quest? Yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and I think somebody just
Yes.
joined us. Gustavo, bienvenido, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome, Gustavo.
Welcome. Bye.
And
Welcome.
oh yeah, before we launch with the first icebreaker, Lieselot, we're getting that in a minute. If you could just share briefly in the chat what challenges you face when facilitating icebreakers, and also if you have any questions, recurring questions when you design or facilitate icebreakers.
Awesome.
Well, actually, this is my first icebreaker that I'm joining. So I'm trying to learn about what will be more effective for my students to be participating in class, and just getting them to how to challenge them.
Cool, great, thank you. If you have more challenges or questions, you can also post them in the chat. We won't be
And
answering them,
I
but
sometimes use music for icebreakers, depending on what is the subject I'm teaching. I mean, I teach psychology and I teach interview, but what is the theme of the day? And I use some music. For example, if we're going to see how to interview a person that we're going to have to say something bad to about a death or something, I would use music, José Luis Perales, Cuando la muerte pisa mi cuerpo. But none of my students are not from that time. So my problem is, how do I keep, up to date? Because that's music for me. But they, they start asking, what's that? And who is Jose Luis Morales? I've never heard of him.
Yes, that's a good point. If you can add it to the chat, we'll get back to it later. Great point. How do we make it up to date for the students who are often in usually in a different generation than we are, right?
Yes.
And just a clarification, Andy, I see you say how to make it work logistically. Can you expand a little bit on that? What the challenge is exactly?
Classroom is not set up to line everybody up, and you've got to move all the furniture. You've got to move it back for class. It's not normal, so students, they're slow moving when you ask them to do something different.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Online, a lot of those problems are solved. Definitely, it's a challenge when we're working in a face-to-face environment. Okay, thank you. You can keep on adding the challenges and questions you have. And right now, we're gonna jump in the first icebreaker. Lieselot.
Gracias. Perdón, pero yo me siento más cómoda hablando en español. ¿Sí?
Okay, we can translate simultaneously for Andy. I write it in the chat.
Thank you. Buenas tardes, soy Lieselot Sepúlveda, soy psicóloga, doy clases en el departamento de psicología. Me encantan los icebreakers y uno de mis favoritos se ha vuelto este que les voy a compartir. Traigo una pregunta para conocernos, ¿sí? Les voy a compartir el link porque vamos a trabajar en Mural. Entonces voy a poner el link aquí en el chat y les voy a dar la pregunta. La idea es que yo este icebreaker lo llamé cuando tenga 50 años porque a los alumnos se los propongo como cuando tengan 50 años. Pero en el caso de algunos de nosotros tendríamos que volver al pasado. Entonces lo puse como que cuando tengas 70 años, ¿sí? La idea es que piensen, cuando tengan 70 años, ¿qué les gustaría poder decir? Que los haga sentir orgullosos, que les haga sentir orgullo de cómo se comportaron durante la pandemia. Entonces, quiero que vayan a Mural y cada uno ponga un post-it con lo que quiere poder decir cuando tenga 70 años.
¿Puedes repetir la pregunta, Lieselot?
Cuando tengas 70 años, cuando tenga 70 años, ¿qué me gustaría poder decir que me haga sentir orgullo sobre mi conducta durante la pandemia? Karen, ¿me vas a avisar a los cuántos minutos?
Sí, tengo aquí mi relojito, mi tomate.
Ajá, pero ¿me avisas a los cuántos? ¿A los 7? O...
Como quieras tú.
Sí, por favor.
¿A los 7?
Sí.
Eso es en 1 minuto, ok.
¿En 1 minuto?
Quedan 7, sí. Cuando
no,
quedan 3.
Sí, cuando queden 3.
Va, súper.
Gracias. Voy a mover algunos post-it para que nos queden cerca. un minuto y compartimos, porfa. Creo que ya están todos, ¿verdad? ¿Alguien falta? ¿Me pueden decir, porfa? ¿Ya todos pusieron? Sí. Bueno, me gustaría, no sé si vamos a alcanzar que todos digan porque son 10 minutos, pero me gustaría que fuéramos leyendo, que cada uno fuera leyendo su post-it y lo compartiéramos. ¿Quién quiere empezar?
Fernando está levantando la mano.
Va, es que no los veo, prefiero que hablen, porfa.
Okay. I dedicated this time to learn new skills, one of them being cooking, reading, create, and reflect.
Wow, gracias, Fernando. ¿Quién más?
Yo, por ejemplo, I wrote 2 post-its. One, during the pandemic, I was not prejudiced toward other people's habits. And during the pandemics, I fought against the control that the state tried to have over people's life.
Gracias, Gabriel.
De nada.
I also have 2.
Pablito?
Oh, yeah, I think I thought it was me. So I will be proud to say to my grandchildren that I discover new insights about myself, society, and liberty. So time to explore. And the other one is, I will feel proud to say that I planted a tree that is still alive.
Oh, thank you.
I think that one's literal, right?
Yes.
Really.
Ya, ¿quién más quiere compartir su post-it? ¿Quién se anima? ¿Quién más?
Yo puedo compartir, pero ahora no lo encuentro. Ah, sí, ya lo encontré. Dice que I chose to make the best out of every challenge and chose to learn and see each challenge as an opportunity.
Muy bien, Carmen, gracias.
This is a little bit of wishful thinking.
¿Perdón?
It's a little bit of wishful thinking. It's not that I do it all the time, but I try to.
Ajá, no, pero está bien, súper. ¿Alguien más? Una última persona, así.
Yo puedo compartir, Lizelot, si quieres.
Gracias,
Mira.
porfa.
I would like people to know that I was able to see the good through the bad, the good through the difficult times, and that I was able to model that for my family. It's also a wishful thinking. I see it as a goal.
Ajá, ajá. Bueno, muchas gracias, Olga. Karen, no sé cómo vamos con el tiempo.
3 minutos.
Va. Entonces, la idea es poder, me gustaría que pensaran si eso que quieren contar cuando tengan 70 años es lo que están haciendo durante la pandemia. ¿O es algo que podrían empezar a hacer, tal vez? ¿Qué dicen?
Oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot to translate. I got involved in the...
In the content.
¿Quién se anima a contar?
Ah, okay. No lo escribimos en mural.
No,
sí?
este último pedacito lo vamos a conversar.
¿Puedes repetir la pregunta, Lizelot? Perdón.
Que si eso que pusieron, que quieren decir cuando tengan 70 años, es lo que están haciendo durante la pandemia o hay que hacer algunos ajustes en la conducta para poder decirlo, ¿verdad?
Yo creo que depende un poco de qué es lo que pusimos, si es de verdad lo que estamos haciendo o lo que decíamos poder hacer.
Ajá, ya, pero la pregunta es
Entonces,
eso
sí.
que quieres poder decir, ¿lo estás haciendo?
Yo sí lo estoy haciendo, digamos, yo sí personalmente sí lo estoy haciendo y lo
Ya,
estoy
sí.
tratando de cumplir siempre.
Ajá, súper. Esa es la idea, que si para ti, tú personalmente, cada uno, digamos.
Sí, definitivamente. En mi caso, ahí estoy trabajando en los dos aspectos, creo que todos los días.
Buenísimo. ¿Hay alguien que a lo mejor no todos los días, no siempre, nada?
Pues yo la verdad, yo estoy trabajando también en eso y siento que tal vez al principio, como no sabíamos todo cómo iba a ser y cómo era como la expectativa, entonces tal vez no empecé precisamente trabajando en mis objetivos que había planteado en esas cosas de crecimiento personal, pero siento que conforme fue avanzando el tiempo y todo esto se fue prolongando, realmente fui ajustando mis objetivos y sí empecé trabajando y terminé trabajando en lo que estaba planteando, pero sí hubo como una transición, al principio no tanto, pero sí después de eso ya conforme se fue prolongando empecé a dedicarle un poco más de tiempo a todas esas acciones.
Súper, gracias Gustavo.
Yo
¿Alguien
no,
más?
hay uno que there is one that I have been doing, which is the exploration of myself, society, and liberty. That is the one that I've been doing, and I think that I'm going to take away from this gym the goal of planting a tree that might survive another 50 years, no, 40 years.
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
Muy bien, gracias Elizabeth, un aplauso.
Gracias a
Muchas
ustedes
gracias
por
por
participar.
facilitar. Gabriel, bienvenido. Te pido que te renombras cómo te sientes ahora al lado de tu nombre y voy a volver a compartir mi pantalla. Vamos ahora a hacer, si pueden escribir en el chat cómo les hizo sentir este ejercicio. I'm sorry, I know I switched to Spanish. Andy, so please, in the chat, we're gonna share how the exercise made you feel. Just fast, the first thing that comes up in your head. Okay, we get different responses. Sometimes it's hard to identify the exact emotion one feels. Okay, so you can keep on adding if you have not done so. I will give you 1 minute now to reflect individually before putting you into breakout rooms on what worked well in this icebreaker, and then even better if what recommendations would you give Dieselot to make it even better?
Wait, what was the last part?
What worked well and even better if.
Okay. We also share it in the chat.
No, you can. It's just individual reflection. We will share it now in the breakout room. Okay, and so now I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms with 3 other people. You'll have 5 minutes. Please share the air, so give everybody an opportunity to talk. And if you can fill out on the Google Doc, we will use it for all the debriefs. I just shared the link in the chat, and I will then start putting you in breakout rooms. Does anybody have any questions about what's going to happen now? No? So
How do we know? How do we know in which breakout room are we?
well, it says on when you're going there. It says, and I think you can see it also on top of the breakout room.
Ah, okay, perfect.
Well, why can't I open the breakout rooms? I have to stop sharing my screen, I think. Here it is. Okay, so we have 11 participants into, let's say, four rooms or 3 rooms. No, 4 rooms. Okay, there you go.
Hola, hola.
Hola.
¿Qué tal?
Bien, no te esperaba aquí.
Ah,
Ah,
teníamos una crisis por aquí. Dije, voy a hacer algo que me despeje un poco.
buenísimo.
Hola, ahora creo que
¿Qué hacer
estoy
ahora?
con ustedes.
Hola, Gustavo.
Hola,
Gustavo y
Gustavo.
Gabriel, justo ustedes dos no han puesto cómo se sienten ahora. Al lado de su nombre.
No sé cómo
Sí.
hacerlo.
En tu imagen de vídeo
Ajá,
pone mute y luego 3 puntitos.
Sí,
ok.
Ahí pones en los 3 puntitos y hay una opción que es rename.
renombrar, sí.
Okay, welcome back everybody. Thanks for adding to the Google Doc. That way I can follow also. That's always great for a facilitator to know what's going on in the breakout rooms. So I just want to hear from Liselot. How did it go? Can you tell us something what went well and what would be better? What would you do differently next time?
I think the next time I will give time for writing the post-it, almost 2 minutes. I think that it's better if I give time.
Okay.
Um,
And what did you like?
I like the most the last question, when you notice if you are doing what you want to say.
Yes. Cool. Okay, good. I'm reading here, and all groups like the purpose of the icebreaker. They say it puts life in perspective, and it's a really valuable exercise. Somebody mentions that it would be hard to continue class because now his thoughts are with this idea, and so he will not be focused on what is to come. The sharing out help people to connect with each other. The mural is a great tool. And there are more things that went well. Among the things that were even better if somebody says something about instructions, but I don't know exactly what was meant. You could share the question beforehand. If the group who wrote that down could maybe elaborate on that.
Uh-huh.
Carmen, you're muted. I saw you were trying to talk.
That was us and I. I put the stuff in Icebreaker 4 instead of in Icebreaker 1.
Oh, that's okay.
I was thinking group 4, but it was a hard question, and answering it on the spot was tough for me. Right, I kind of froze, having to think, oh my God, and plus thinking these people are going to judge me if I put something stupid. I need to have something real, and then people start writing profound things, and so if I'd had 10 minutes to think about it during the day before this, I would have had a better answer.
Yes, I think that it's better if people know each other when you use this icebreaker.
Yeah, you make a good point there, both of you. It's the fear of being judged, of exposing your work and thinking it's not good enough, especially if you feel you have not been able to think enough about it to get to something really meaningful with what you're happy, can be hard, and definitely something we have to take into account. More comments.
So I was comparing this to the icebreaker at the Antigua Forum, and that I find that doing it 50 times, I get
Can
my
you explain what it is, Andy, for people?
So everybody gets 20 seconds or 30 seconds to sort of introduce themselves and why they're there, and that your answer gets better as you do it. So if you do it 50 times in 20 minutes, you're refining your answer as you get rid of unnecessary words, and you see how people react. By the end, you really know it. And this, I only got one chance.
So you have an iteration process.
Right. So no, the Antigua Forum thing eats up 45 minutes. So your whole class is over then. So you can't, but the repetition there is very helpful, I think, actually in clarifying your answer in your own mind.
Yeah.
I don't know how you add that into a short thing like this, but.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else felt the same way as Andy did? Or has any comments on that? Being vulnerable, expose your deep thoughts.
It was hard, but well, I shared something, and then when Gabriel said about freedom, I was like, oh my God, I'm worrying about these small problems when really the world is seriously having like serious issues with freedom, and I could do something about that too. And then I also felt a little bit guilty. I don't know if guilty is a word, but I was like, oh my God, I'm worried, like drowning myself in one ridiculous thing. And yeah.
So you felt your own contribution was not as valid anymore, or
yeah. I mean, not as, but it just made. I'm still thinking about it, and so it would be hard for me to concentrate in class right now.
Yeah, because it's such a deep question. Yeah. So, Liselot, do you have any idea what you can add to the icebreaker that would mitigate these feelings? If you want to answer in Spanish, it's fine.
Sí, creo que tiene que ver con que mi clase es de psicología y estamos como siempre dispuestos a hacer introspección.
Yeah.
Por eso, y creo que, insisto, o sea, no es una pregunta que yo haga a la primera clase, ¿sí?
Okay.
Y además yo doy clases en 5º año, entonces la gente se conoce.
I just want to get...
no lo usaría con un grupo, o sea, lo estoy presentando hoy porque para presentarlo, ¿verdad? Para compartirlo, pero no lo usaría con un grupo que no se con gente que no se conoce entre ellos.
I was going to say, Lisa, that something out of my chest is thank you, because it was a gift. I saw that Fernando wrote thankful, and I second that, because it feels like a gift to think on the present about your future and the things that you can change. So it's like an invitation for action, and I really want to plant that tree now.
Okay.
Bien, yes.
With those words, let's wrap up this icebreaker. Thank you, Liselot. And so I think one thing we need to think about is who's our audience when we design an icebreaker and we facilitate it, and think, will they be comfortable, be empathic with how they will live this icebreaker. So this is,
sí, gracias a todos, porque me hacen ver que efectivamente las audiencias son diferentes, pues, y hay cosas que a lo mejor no pasan en mis clases, pero pasan en otros grupos, así que súper, muchas gracias.
Okay, super, thank you. And let's go over now to Fernando. Fernando, there you go.
Yes, hello everyone. It's great being with you here this afternoon, and we're gonna do an icebreaker that will require us to put our visionary glasses and move 10 years into the future. I'm gonna share another mural space, so we're gonna use a similar dynamic to the previous icebreaker, but I want everyone to reflect and think about what you think higher education would look like in 10 years' time. How it will be transformed, what will change, what will stay the same. And after 4 minutes of writing our thoughts, I want to dedicate a space to share what you wrote and why you think that will happen. So I've shared the link in the chat. I think everyone should be able to see it now. I see a few people already in the space, and we will reconvene in 4 minutes. We have 2 minutes left. Excellent. So I'm going to share my screen and share the mural space with you, and choose a few people who can share what you wrote and why you think that will be the case. Do you have any volunteers, or I can choose someone randomly? Sí, Ana.
Okay. Those are the big green one and the blue one. Those are mine.
Yeah.
My hope is that because I'm in medicine, that it will be a lot more practical learning, that the students will be doing and not just receiving classes in the classroom, and that they will know more how they can learn because they have been taught to learning how to learn, basically, so they already know what to do to learn better, so they don't have to receive so much classes, instead do a lot of more.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Anna. Would you like to nominate someone else to share their thoughts with us?
Okay, let's go with Pablo. He has a lot of coffee.
I promise you, I haven't had any coffee today.
Where are you in the mural space?
I am the shrimp. So I am down there with the thumbs down and thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Let me. Okay, so I have from 10 years from now, I see good things and bad things. This is not about UFM, this is about the overall education environment. On one side, I see something problematic, that it is a less emphasis on humanities and a more technician-oriented universities. So trying to graduate technical people more holistic human beings. So going away from the old arts and going more into technical arts. But on the good side, and I think this is going to be a game changer, the communication technologies, and the fact that both students, parents, universities, education institutions are being more welcoming of technology, that is going to be the game changer. And we're going to be in 10 years at that point where things are going to start changing, accelerated. And this welcome of technology is going to bring a competition arriving from previously unknown outsider people who so long they have not been universities. So I think innovation is going to come from new institutions and institutions that we don't think of them as providers of higher education now, but they are going to be competing in this new market, and that is going to bring a new environment where we have a provision, decentralized provision of higher education, not just focused on universities. And the good thing is that this education, I hope, is going to be very interdisciplinary and very modular. So I see that 10 years is going to be a fertile ground for innovation.
Thank you, Pablo. I think we have time for a few more. Would you like to nominate someone else?
I nominate Andy.
Andy. Hello, Andy. Where are you in the
big rectangular one up high?
Would it be this one?
So students at UFM, fill in the city here. So Gabriel will have opened the 100th campus of UFM in a different city around the world. But there'll be people doing much more hybrid classes. They'll be doing the in-person things. They'll be collaborating in maker spaces and things like that, and they'll be collaborating online across continents. So you won't be limited to interacting with the people in your own campus, and all the information distribution, all the content distribution can go online and get out of the classroom, so that we're doing co-creation in every course with a Jamboard in every classroom. But that's an optimistic look.
Yeah.
But you know, what happened here, and I don't know if this is true there, was everyone was forced to adapt, and all the people who said I could never teach online had to.
Mm-hmm.
And so now nobody can say you can't do it. They can say you can't do it well, but they can't say you can't do it. So we're not doing it well, but I think we broke a barrier.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you. Andy, would you like to nominate someone else? And I think that will be our last intervention.
Who would I like to nominate? I would like to nominate Carmen.
Carmen.
Thank you, Andy.
I'm sorry, Carmen.
Oh, time's up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we would love what you have to say, Carmen, but another time. Also, for all, please don't change the way you feel in your renaming, because I would like to keep you with the first one, and then we're gonna do something with that in the end. So this goes to all, and especially to Carmen, who's very active. Okay, so just let's take 1 minute to share in the chat how the exercise made you feel.
Okay, Karen, where do we share these?
In the chat, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Please keep on sharing. This is very informative, I think, also for Fernando. And then we just take another minute to think individually. What did you like? What went well? What worked well for you? And what would you propose to change the next time? Okay, I'm sharing again the Google Doc link. It's the same Google document as before. You will be in different breakout rooms. I'm recreating them. I'm creating 3 rooms now, so maybe some of you will be 4 people. So there we go. You have 5 minutes again. Same process. Oh, Gladys. Volviste aquí, Gladys. Estás en mute. Gladys, ¿te saliste de tu breakout room por accidente? No, ¿puedes hacerte unmute? No te estoy escuchando, Gladys. Tienes el micrófono apagado. Ah, ahora sí. ¡Ay, no! Solo voy a hacer, en un minuto ya van a volver. ¿Tienes alguna duda o pregunta, Gladys?
Now, okay. Karen, gracias. I don't know what you're speaking about, but the outbreak rooms and the mural, because I haven't been taking the classes you've given, but I was just observing, and I think it's great. So if you have another class, if you're going to train somebody else, or I would like to take part in that.
Oh, cool, cool.
But I didn't want to leave because I just wanted to observe. But I find this fascinating.
So for you who has never worked with mural before, it's hard to jump in without any further explanation.
Oh, it is terribly.
Yeah.
But at least I'm not so much used to technology. I mean, I feel that it's like being having all my degrees and everything, and wash technology. Soy analfabeta otra vez.
Okay, that's
so
really important.
I'm going little steps, but I'm doing there. I'm going there.
Thanks for sharing. So Gladys was mentioning to me that it was really hard for her to get into the mural links and the Google Doc, and it's a really important point we have to take into account. It's again our audience. What support do they need to get in the documents? Check if they're in the documents, if they're able to participate, and sometimes we forget if we see that the majority is doing that. So that's a really good point. Thank you, Gladys. Fernando, could you share briefly with us what went well for you, and then what would you do differently next time?
Yeah, I think something that went well, and it's a mixture of what went well, what could be better next time, is when people were nominating the next participant and asking other people to share their thoughts because they were curious. I think time management could improve. And I was reading that the question was too broad, so I agree. It could be more specific, and if it's on a session that deals with a specific subject, I think it could be tailored to that. So I think that could also improve.
Okay, and how would you do the time management when somebody's nominating?
I think maybe I'll allocate more time to the discussion side of the exercise. Okay. Or as some people were sharing, maybe send the question in advance, have the questions already in the mural before the session begins, and dive right into the.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, time management. A lot of you mentioned as one big challenge, and it is. It's after all, it's an icebreaker. It's the start. You don't want to take it up too much of your class, but how to keep it in control? Because once people start talking, it's sometimes gets out of control. And the other thing. Yeah, for the sharing the question in advance, we have to take into account introverts and extroverts. And for introverts, icebreakers can be hell. I will tell a little bit more about that in the end if we have time. So sharing out a question in advance can help introverts to be more comfortable also. So great. Anybody else wants to mention that we have time for two comments on what went well and even better is?
On time management, I like how you said that we have time for two comments. And now I'm sorry I've taken one of them, but that's great.
Yeah, I really liked also the time management. You did a good job. You told beforehand people had 4 minutes. Then when there were 2 minutes left, you shared that. That's really helpful as participants. And then also when people were sharing out, you said to Carmen that will be the last one person to share out. So people always are prepared for when things come to an end. And I think that's really nice. Any other comments? So you all can read also the Google Doc. There is a lot of good feedback here. One more comment maybe, if somebody wants to share. And if not, that's fine too. A big applause for Fernando. Muchas gracias, Fernando. Thank you so much. And then we go to nervous Olga, who soon will not be nervous anymore.
Aww.
Go for it, Olga. Your 10 minutes start now.
Without pressure.
Wow. The tomato.
No pressure, Karen.
No pressure. Time management.
Okay, so hello everyone. We're going to use our imagination for this icebreaker. Yes, I'm nervous because this is my first time doing it. So let's check it out. I'm going to ask all of you to please turn on.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
We lost you. I'm gonna ask everybody too, and then we lost you.
Perhaps it's part of the exercise.
No, can you hear me now?
Use your imagination.
Okay. So I'm going to ask each one of you to turn off the camera and find something that you find interesting, an object, because this icebreaker is called one random object, okay?
Yeah.
So will you all please turn off your cameras? Grab it and don't show it. Don't show it.
How much time do we have? How much time do we
30
have?
seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a lot, Pablito.
Wait, an object for what? Sorry.
An object that you find interesting, that it's close to you.
Huh.
Or a random object. You can choose.
Okay.
And should we come back once we have the random object?
Okay, you grab it and place it close to you, but please do not show it. And you can turn on your camera again. That way we'll know if we're ready. Excellent. I knew it took you less than 30 seconds. See, Pablito? Okay, we're still waiting for some of us.
Carmen is simply overwhelmed, but she's not coming back.
Didn't understand the close by. She went to the.
She was hungry.
She went
She
out
thought
Oh my
with
it was
Gustavo.
all about the food. Okay. Still two. We're missing two, right, Karen? Okay.
Yes, Gladys. No, Gladys is there. Gustavo.
Gustavo. Okay. So, excellent. That means all of us have an object. So what are we going to do now? We're going to guess a couple of those objects. How are we going to do it? Each of us is going to think in questions that can be answered just with yes or no. And we're going to make 5 questions for each object, okay? So
Sorry,
first,
can you repeat it? I miss you.
again?
No, but it was me. That was me.
We don't explain what the object is.
No, you don't explain.
Okay. Let's show it.
We're going, do not show the object, do not explain it. We are going to ask what it is.
Okay.
You can only make a question that will be answered with yes or no. So you can't ask, what color is it? But you can ask, is it white? Okay.
Ah.
And each of us is going to nominate the other one.
Okay.
Okay. So first,
The questions are about our object or other people's object?
about others people's object.
Oh,
So I'm
you have
going
to
to
guess.
choose one people to start. So for example, I'm going to pick, we're going to guess Gabriel's object. Okay? So
Great.
each of us is going to think in questions. Remember, yes or no. And we're going to make questions to Gabriel in order for us to guess what the object is. Okay? So I'm going to begin. And after that, I'm going to say another name. And that person is going to the next. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it. So, Gabriel.
Help me, Olga.
Is your object big?
Define big.
Is your object bigger than a cell phone?
Ah.
Yes.
Go, Anna.
Is your object, can it be opened?
Yes.
Please, Anna,
Okay. Gladys.
Is the object on your desk?
Yes. Well, currently is back there, but right now is on my desk.
Oh.
That's easy.
Guys, will you please nominate someone else?
I will nominate Carmen.
Is it a book?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so now it gets interesting. We can just make one question, one more question. And after that, we'll guess in the chat. All of us, like just go for it, okay? So please, Carmen, who are you going to nominate?
Andy.
You took my question.
I need a lawyer.
Yeah. Does your object have words on it?
Yes.
Ah. Okay, now we give our answers, right, Olga?
Yeah, I'm fighting with myself between going democratic or authoritarian. I'm still unclear because I think that we're missing some clues. So maybe we can ask a couple of questions, just two more.
What's
So
happened to
Andy,
the
will
rule
you
of law?
please nominate someone
Okay.
else?
I'll nominate Fernando.
Is your object capable of showing digital numbers?
Capable of showing digital numbers. What do you mean?
Is it a digital clock?
Sorry?
Is it a clock?
No.
Okay. And I nominate Liselot.
Does your object or can your object be recargable, rechargeable? No.
Yes and no. That's a problem. But for most of the uses of the word rechargeable, no.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No.
And
In English, and in fact, I just realized that in English there is another word for. Yeah. No. It's not rechargeable. Sorry.
Not.
No.
Okay, so now I can see your question mark face, but we're going to try and guess. So can we all write what we think it is? And Gabriel, I'm going to ask you if you can read and just tell us if the answer is there. Or if not, we're going to take 1 more minute to make sprint questions, okay?
Okay.
So let's get to it.
Oh my God, how many questions?
Can you open a tablet?
A bottle of water? But that's not strange.
Define strange, Pablito.
He just said no.
No a todas. Sí, no.
Okay,
todas.
We have less than a minute, so please pay attention.
Es demasiado difícil. No sé por qué. Yo entendí que había que elegir algo que te parezca particularmente curioso, qué sé yo.
That's okay, that's okay. So, curious, can you please just show a little part of it?
Aww.
A little part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No se
Ready?
ve.
Ah!
Wait, I didn't see it.
Hey, somebody said a bottle of water.
Yeah.
But that is not
A
a bottle of
bottle
water.
of wine.
Not a bottle of water.
No.
So, did we guess?
No.
A bottle of wine. No.
Whoa.
A map.
Yes, Pablo, but Pablo knows what this is.
Ah.
Yay.
Uh-huh.
This is the bottle, if I have a minute, is the bottle that the owner of the ferrocarril in Guatemala produced the day that he won the case against the state of Guatemala after the Guatemalan government expropriate his train. So the day that he won, he produced 1,000 bottles like this, and he invited all his family, friends to celebrate.
Interesting.
It
Good
was
one.
hard.
Good one.
Bien.
Okay.
Thank you, Olga. Your time is up. Thank you so much. Maybe we can make a group picture with our objects now. So if we all reveal our objects.
Hey.
And ready, there I go. Cool. Hey, great object. Okay, thank you so much. Again,
We miss
quickly.
Gabriel, I think, for the picture, Karen.
Sorry?
I think we miss Gabriel.
He doesn't care.
Oh, he wasn't there. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. 1, 2. Shady? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's put the turbo. Quickly, how did this exercise make you feel? If you can share in the chat.
Está mejor.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna skip the individual reflection time. You go straight into the breakout rooms. There you go. What went well, even better if. Ah, Gladys, para entrar en el breakout room, tienes que aceptar. Tiene que haber.
Join.
Sí, join, ahí estás.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. Okay,
Can
cool.
I change my name to Happy again?
No, not yet. Okay, so great. Olga, can you please briefly share your thoughts?
Okay, I was like, I had step by step written what I was supposed to do, like for the whole activity, but I changed it a little bit because I thought that we will have time for a couple of objects. But when I see that that wasn't possible, so I shifted so I can get more people to work. And I think it went well for the first time. I think that I can do more. We had some feedback that can be really useful. I think that's about it. I love the story of the object.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, great. I see maybe there is a lot of, so for everybody it was energizing, it made people feel curious. And then some suggestions are not to change the rules of the game in the middle of the game, and also managing expectations. So let people know that you're not all going to be able to pass. An idea I think could be, maybe somebody wrote it down, is that each class somebody can pass, or
Yes, we were talking about in the group that it could be like a one icebreaker that it is ongoing through the semester, so everybody knows that at some point he or she is going to have the opportunity to show.
Yes, cool. So talking about time management, we have 5 minutes left. No. Okay, so I'm going to show you the poll result. In the beginning, for those who were not here, we did a poll. And how often do you facilitate an icebreaker in class? There's somebody who only does it in the first class of the semester. Are you able to see the poll result?
Yes.
Yes.
And then 3 people do it in about half of their classes, 3 people do it in each class, and somebody none of the above. So yes, a lot of people use icebreakers. Let me close this. And what I wanted to ask now, could you please, you're not seeing my screen, if you could share in the chat what you use the icebreaker for. I'm gonna share the question. What do you use icebreakers for? Here we go. Why would you use an icebreaker?
I love this.
If you don't, why don't you use icebreakers in your class? Okay, so we get here to help students know each other and me to know them, to get to know my students, to engage my audience and make it more human. As a warm-up, it creates bonding, it energizes the group, promotes interaction, community, wake and energize participants, energize classes that might have low energy. Okay, you see there are lots of different reasons why to use an icebreaker. Many are to know each other. It serves to compensate the distance of virtuality. Yes, especially now in COVID time, in virtual learning, icebreakers can be really important for give people an opportunity to get to know each other. Okay, so the word icebreaker was first used in 1825, I learned, and it's something that's done or said to get through the first difficulties in starting a conversation or a discussion. That's the meaning of it. And so some people say when we go to the gym, to get back to the analogy of the gym, we do warm-ups, we stretch our muscles. And why wouldn't we apply that for our thinking, our intellectual activity? So we also need some kind of warm-up. And then again here, so if you want to continue trying it out and reflecting on it, I would recommend also to ask your students after doing an icebreaker how it felt, and why always about the feeling. I think we want to change mindset, we want to change emotions and the emotional states of the students, because that it has a big impact on their capacity to learn, on their readiness to learn. And Lieselot, I'm sure, can tell us more about this, but the emotions really play an important role in the classroom, I think, and sometimes we underestimate that. So we have asked some of the students at UFM about good and bad experience they had in Icebreakers. I encourage you to read it, and if you want to send this to your students, we can build a database and understand better what makes for a good icebreaker and what do they value in them or not. Thank you also for people who have filled it out. I had another slide, but I think I have to upload it. Okay, here it is. So be careful, and some people mentioned it as a challenge, how to vary and make it not repetitive. And this is one of the things that was published in Memes UFM. It would literally rather get punched in the face and tell the class a fun fact about myself. Apparently we did this one in Formación Continua, and a lot of teachers started doing this, and it can get repetitive and annoying. So yeah, here's again the expectations and reality. Even if we manage to make the left, what's his name again?
Olaf.
Olaf. Some people might not like Olaf, might not like the taste of Olaf. So not everybody likes the same icebreakers. So then again, it's
I love this quote.
And to take into account that different people might react differently to different icebreakers. And here's a little bit about introverts. For introvert, I don't know, are there any introverts among us today? I don't see all the faces. No introverts here.
Pablito and Anna raised their hands.
Do you want to share briefly your experience with icebreakers?
You kind of learn to speak, and it's uncomfortable and you hate it, and I get really, really red in the face because I start to get hot because my adrenaline is going off. But you eventually kind of learn to share. You have to learn to share, and that's kind of why I try to do one in every one of my classes and ask all the people who never talk, because that way they kind of get used to it in a comfortable setting to do it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for coming to this session. I really appreciate the effort you're doing, and thanks for sharing. Pablito?
I might not be the stereotypical introvert, but I'm very energized and happy to share with people that I know, or with at least some people that I know are in the room. But when it is completely new people, and I know that this happened to students, I get really nervous. So it's and it is, as Anna was saying, stressing, painful, and takes time. But every time that I meet a new group, I remember all those feelings. But I know they will pass. But it is good to have that into our minds when we're designing for the students that might not know each other.
Yeah. Okay, great. Super. Thank you for sharing, Pablito. Yeah, here are some tips to design with introverts in mind as well. I will share it with you later. So I would like to wrap up 5 minutes over time. If you need to leave, please do so. Thank you for coming. If not, hang on 5 more minutes. So if you can now add next to the first feeling, how you're feeling now. So we will have your name, the emotion when you came into the workshop, and the emotion when you're leaving the workshop. Okay, I see Anna changed from sleepy to excited, Lieselot from happy to curious, Fernando was already excited, now he's motivated, interested, motivated. So yeah, we have a lot of energy and motivation, which is great, and which a lot of us would aim for when organizing Icebreakers. So good job to the 3 facilitators. And let me see what I have here. I still have problems managing all the chats and. Okay, so I'm gonna do fast the poll again. And if you have not participated in the beginning, please don't do now. So here you go with the, can you see the poll? No.
No.
No yet.
I have to stop
Not
sharing,
yet.
I think. Okay, I have to stop sharing and now I can launch the poll. It's the same question as in the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll and share the results. And I don't have the previous results here, which was my objective. Now we have somewhat confident 1 person. We have 4 people confident and 2 very confident. I will share both so you can compare if this workshop has provoked any change. And with this, we go to, here we go. So if you can share again in the chat, what is 1 change you're going to make in your next Icebreaker facilitation? That would be the final question. If somebody wants to share talking, that's great too.
For fun facts, maybe not use fun facts, maybe use 2 truths and a lie. That one has worked for me.
Yes, a student in Flipgrid mentioned that that was one she really liked. Yeah, I see. Also, Andy said not use fun facts anymore. Okay, these are great takeaways. So I really hope you keep on reflecting on both experience as participant and facilitating. And I would love to repeat if you guys are up to it. And with that, I had a slide which says, oops. There you go. Thank you, especially to Liselot, Fernando, and Olga. Please give them another round of applause. And yeah, thank you all for participating so enthusiastically. See you in the next gym.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, Karen.
Bye.
Fantastic
Bye.
invitation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks,
for
Karen, and
coming.
everyone.
Olga no se quiere ir.